Why do some people outperform others with the same skills and resources? What makes one team push harder while another drifts aimlessly? For psychologist Edwin Locke, the answer is clear. It's all about goals. Developed in the 1960s and refined over decades, Locke's goal-setting theory is one of the most practical and widely applied motivation theories in business. It focuses on how clear, meaningful goals drive behavior, boost performance, and enhance focus. But it's not just about setting any goal, it's about setting the right kind of goal in the right way and backing it up with commitment and feedback. How the theory works, from thought to action. At its core, goal-setting theory explains that goals direct attention, energize effort, and influence persistence and strategy. In other words, people don't just act randomly, they act in pursuit of something. That something gives their effort direction and purpose. The theory weaves together values, emotions, intentions, actions, performance, and outcomes in a motivational chain. When people care about an outcome value, feel emotionally engaged, and intend to act, their actions become more focused. As they move forward, performance improves, and outcomes provide either satisfaction or a need to course correct. Feedback loops help them adjust and keep going. In short, meaningful goals give people something to strive for, and that striving leads to results. Key components of the goal-setting process. Values. Motivation starts with what people care about. Goals tied to personal or organizational values tend to drive stronger engagement. Emotions. Emotions like pride, excitement, or even fear can intensify goal pursuit. Goals aren't just rational, they're personal. Intentions. When people form a conscious intention to reach a goal, that intention begins to shape their behavior. Actions. Action follows intention, but the quality and consistency of that action depend on clarity and feedback. Performance. As effort becomes focused and consistent, performance improves, especially when the goal is challenging but attainable. Outcomes. Achieving the goal or failing to brings emotional and professional consequences and creates learning. Feedback loop. Feedback during the process helps people adjust, refine their approach, or renew commitment. It keeps the goal alive and evolving. What makes goals effective? Key features of goal setting. Not all goals are created equal. Locke and his colleague Gary Latham identified specific features that make goals truly motivating. Specificity. Vague goals, do your best, lead to vague results. Clear, measurable goals increase sales by 10%, focus attention. Challenge. Easy goals don't motivate. People engage more with goals that stretch them, as long as they believe success is possible. Commitment. The more committed a person is, the harder they'll work. Commitment grows when goals are seen as important and achievable. Public declaration. Sharing goals increases accountability. When others know what you're aiming for, you're more likely to follow through. Control over outcome. Motivation drops when success depends on luck or someone else's decision. People need to feel their actions make a difference. Feedback. Ongoing feedback helps people know if they're on track and adjust when they're not. Business example, goal setting in action. Meet Rita, a regional sales manager at a telecom company. Her team has been stuck in a performance plateau for months. She decides to implement a new strategy using goal-setting theory. Rather than saying we need to improve, Rita sets a specific and challenging goal, increase regional sales by 15% in the next quarter. She makes the goal public, shares it across the department, and asks each team member to define their personal sales targets. To build commitment, she connects the goal to potential bonuses and future promotions, outcomes that matter to her team. She also ensures regular feedback through weekly check-ins, where reps review their numbers and share ideas. And because sales reps control their own pipelines and customer outreach, they feel a strong sense of agency over the outcome. The result? Not only does the team hit the target, they exceed it. And morale rises with a sense of accomplishment. Lessons for business leaders. Locke's theory isn't just about individuals. It's a roadmap for effective leadership and performance management. Leaders who want to build high-performing teams should set clear and challenging goals, but make sure they're realistic and aligned with team capabilities. Make goals meaningful by linking them to values, rewards, or professional growth. Encourage public commitment through team announcements, share dashboards, or peer accountability. Provide regular, constructive feedback that helps people improve, not just measure. Ensure control over results by removing unnecessary roadblocks and giving people autonomy. When leaders understand how to design and support goals, they create an environment where people want to achieve, not just because they have to, but because they're driven to. Pros and cons of goal-setting theory. Pros. Backed by decades of research and real-world success. Applicable across roles, industries, and cultures. Helps improve focus, effort, and performance. Encourages structured feedback and accountability. Cons. Can lead to stress or burnout if goals are too rigid or aggressive. Overfocus on goals may cause people to ignore non-goal tasks. May demotivate if goals are unclear, unrealistic, or externally imposed. Requires active management and support to be effective. Conclusion: goals shape motivation. Locke's goal-setting theory reminds us that motivation doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. When people have a meaningful, specific, and challenging goal to pursue, and they believe they can achieve it, they become energized, focused, and resilient. But it's not enough to just set the goal and walk away. Leaders need to nurture commitment, enable progress, and offer feedback along the journey. Because in the end, it's not just the destination that matters. It's the clarity, challenge, and purpose that move people forward.